Good evening, UK. This is Tim.
And Matt.
We are on the buzz with you all the way till 3 p.m. Good
And
evening.
good evening. And
And
we brought some really interesting topics today. And today we're going to talk about something really interesting on how it will affect the future of the UK as well. Like we don't know if this is going to be positive or negative, but there are many benefits and disadvantages.
yeah, we've got the future of UK in that, but then I'd say it is also a part of the future of the world, right?
The world.
Yeah, because I mean now, big news is that talking about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, they are splitting up after about 27 years of marriage. I
27.
mean, yeah, I mean it's a little sad. No, there was a statement out by Bill Gates. He talks about how he is grateful for the fact that they've had a decent marriage. For the time they've been together, they've raised three children, and they have the Gates and Melinda Foundation, right? And now that is basically a foundation that is integrated around providing support to, or it's a big CSR project in whole, right? And these guys concentrate in numbers. It's not just collecting cash just because they have the money and just distributing it to particular causes. What they do is they concentrate on problems like maybe it might be malaria in Nigeria, for instance, right? And they go into the extent of understanding why people have it so much, instead of just vaccinating people or something like that. But I've watched this documentary on Netflix that it's called Inside Bill Gates, right? So what they talk about there is they break down the reason of why these guys actually get sick like this, and they actually study the life cycle, the daily habits of these people, and they actually go into a point where they understand that it's because the water in their areas is all contaminated. So I mean, so what they do is it's super cool because they go into the extent of actually finding out ways, instead of just vaccinating people, they go into finding ways of how they can you know filter the water, or clear all these streams up. It's these kind of problems that these guys
So
solve.
instead
So
of like they're beating around the bush, finding like all the reasons and whatnot that causes this, instead of finding the direct
yeah,
problem at once.
absolutely. So these guys are actually now they concentrate on heavy ROI. They concentrate on long-term results, long-term positive results. These are interesting ways into approaching problems that you can solve for humanity. So I really admire this the Gates and Melinda Foundation. But in terms of this also, they are talking about how regardless of the breakup, they are looking at coming together, staying together in terms of work, and they're looking at working together to get the company going forward. And even in the lines of their personal progress, they just say that at this phase, or moving into the next chapter in their lives, they don't see themselves growing together. So it's a mutual understanding apparently. And they've asked for a little privacy, or respect in terms from the media, from the fans, and any followers. So yeah, that is a bit of the story now. And talking about how now we know the future of how invested, coming back to the point, talking about how Bill Gates is heavily invested into CSR. He's heavily invested into renewable energy, because he believes in the point that with a lot of
We got to
multi-billionaires,
preserve
right?
Earth, like because we all use Earth, and he's come to the point where like we got to preserve the Earth, use renewable energy sources. Like we've been like using all of these like fossil fuels, petrol, and that's all like just digging up from the Earth and just eating up the Earth and not doing anything good to the Earth. So
Absolutely,
now we're like
absolutely.
moving on to like other energy sources like renewable ones like wind powered, solar powered, and whatnot. So today's topic is about wind powered energy sources and like how it will affect the UK in a good way or a bad way, because many jobs will be lost, many jobs might be even brought up, not many, but
I'd say a lot will be the no, Bloomberg has spoken about how there will be at least 3 million new jobs just under the wind power sector, right? So, and this is not just, I mean, immediate. This is by the end of 2025. So, I'm seeing a positive growth. I don't know. I mean, what we'd like to do is we'd like to get your feedback on this. We'd like to know what your take is on it, and let us know what actually your opinion on it is, because do you see wind power growing? Do you see hydro power growing? Do you see solar power growing? And how will these affect jobs? How will these affect the economy? Will it be less costly, or will it, add more value to the economy in general, right?
Yeah, and we'd love to hear your opinions and your thoughts. You could download our apps on the App Store or Play Store, that is RELAKS. Also, you could call us or message us on our number 07852473473.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can call us up. You can, we basically stream on all these platforms. We stream on
Twitch,
Twitch,
Facebook, YouTube. That's Relax on those
Instagram,
platforms.
and Twitter. So we are on all these platforms for you, just to make it easy. So we are on your favorite platform to, connect with you. Now we'd know what your opinion is on this in this conversation, and we'll be right back with you right after a quick video, just to show you on, who we are, who Relax is, and what we do. That is right. We are Relax Radio. We are on the App Store. We're on the Play Store. Any stream basically that you are, most likely to be on. Your favorite streams, your favorite channels. This is Relax Radio, your channel. This is your platform. I'm Tim.
And I'm Matt.
And we are talking to you on the buzz with regard to, how UK is basically looking at moving to wind power energy, wind farms. And now we know the solar story here. We know the fact that, by 2050, people need to push for 100% or at least 80%, renewable energy. So governments are taking serious action now. And, it's the policies that we build now in the 2020s that will actually even
affect
brought
the future, because like
absolutely
what we do now will affect like our future generations. And
absolutely
we gotta think about
absolutely
the future, because like that's scary. If, like we don't know how it'll affect us. Many deforms, like many people get affected, their lungs, like, especially with pollution and all of this stuff happening around. Wildlife are getting endangered. Humans, like newborn babies, their lungs are getting like blocked because of like the pollution and everything.
That's so sad.
It's so good, like if we move on to a renewable energy source than using like fumes, petrol that produce fumes and all of those.
Absolutely. I think, we're coming to a point where we're exhausting the planet, right? I mean, it's not, really, it's not healthy for the planet. It's not healthy for us. I mean, now if there's any other, I mean, the way I think Nigeria actually announced the fact that they are, looking to grant you certifications, or, so they're looking to give you approvals on, hunting elephants. And hunt per elephant, they're going to charge you about $70,000. And it's so sad to see that people are coming into a state like this. I mean, I completely understand the fact that people are suffering because of the COVID situation. People understand that it's not easy for anyone, for everyone at least. Now we know the problems India is going through, right?
Yeah, India's gone. They've been put to the red list as well, so now you can't travel to the country.
To or from,
yeah,
right?
to or
Yeah.
from, and like they don't even have oxygen these days, right?
Yeah,
They're struggling
yeah.
with oxygen. It's
Absolutely.
really hard for them.
It's such a sad story. I mean, the fact that countries like Italy, I know Europe and Australia, for instance, are going to imprison you or fine you if you are going to come to the countries from India. So it's that strict. It's a sad story to see, from 3 years ago, how travel was, booming. People were looking at having the best time of the year in 2020, right?
And
but
now
then
they're just stuck in their home with
exactly,
just their phones or computers.
exactly. It's taken such a big U-turn. But then again, the buzz, we always talk about positivity. We try to keep you updated on what's going on. And what we see, how we are looking at it is, we see it in a way where people have been learning a lot of markets have been emerging as well. We've seen the crypto market as well. It's just booming right now. Ethereum, from $2,700, it's hit $3,100. That's almost a $500 increase per coin, right? I mean, it's those are one thing, but then you see a lot of more tech startups that are pushing out. If it's regard to architecture, people are also concentrating on ways where they can actually push for more productivity in your house, and design design your houses in a way, regardless of where you work in your house, allocating a section for for your work, and making sure that people are not running around while you're on your calls. So there's so many interactive ways where people are improving their interactions, or their progress towards being productive, right? So now we've got a conversation here. We've got a conversation around the UK wind farms and where they are looking at going. We'll be right back with you on these stories. I'm Tim,
And I'm Matt.
and you can actually keep in touch.
You
Join.
can message us or even give us a call on our number 07852473473. And also you can catch us on our live platforms. We go live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And also download our applications where you can get in touch with us as well from there. That's RELAKS on the App Store and Play Store.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're on all streams, all your favorite streams. It's the same channel, Relax Radio. We'll be right back with you after these quick videos. Good evening.
Good evening.
And then that's right. That's right. We are
Relax
relaxed.
Radio, and I'm Matt.
I'm Tim,
And
and
we're here to talk about interesting topics regarding entrepreneurship, business, and tech, all on Relax with
that's
your
right. Keeping
thoughts.
you just keeping you updated on what you need to know on what's going on in the Europe or the UK. Just conversing with you on what if you need to have a conversation with someone at work, one of your clients, maybe someone just to improve the exposure on what your maybe your family will need to know as well, right? Just keeping you updated on everything, like Matt said, business, tech, entrepreneurship. So now we are talking about a UK based, the UK wind power concentration, and how the wind farms are helping emissions. But we need to also consider the ROI, right? Like we said about the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation. Now we need to consider the concentration around how how what the return is on the investment, right? And talking about how the business leaders and what their opinions are, if they're looking at supporting these concepts, if they're looking at because at the end of the day, everything is not free, nothing is free, right? So we need to concentrate on how the
How this will like help the people and how it will also help the economy in the UK as well grow. But also like even though these things help people grow, they're really costly as well to even get them because UK are the people who are building these. They have to
yeah,
import this from other countries.
right,
So that itself is like really costly. And
yeah,
even maintaining these take like another huge amount of cost.
yeah. So now even in the lines of how there's a fast offshore wind that is not being matched with the benefits to the economy. Now there is there's a lot of wind factors. There's a lot of factors that actually people are needed to consider when it comes to these things. It's not just the fact that you might have to go out, set your farms up, set the windmills up, and then just expect a certain amount of wind coming in or power coming in and just allocating it to the towns, right? Or the cities. So what the port of Blyth or in Northumberland, the fact is that once the biggest exporters of Europe, and the fact that they've been transforming itself into a leading hub for offshore energy. So talking about the fact that the most of the work done, the most of its work has been done in an offshore wind farm, or the fact that it is in the factor that people don't, I mean, business leaders at least are not finding it as attractive when it comes to the investment side of things, because of the fact that when Sky News had spoken to UK, and they've spoken about how the zero emission concept has been in act, but the economy is still missing out. Now earlier this year we have been, even on the bars, we've been talking about how there has been an issue with the allocation of funds to different CSR activities. Now if it is to children education, if it is into giving people families, or construction, if it is for, like I said, education, or even funding hospitals, right? Now these are basic necessities for the UK. And when I talk about necessities, I mean a part of the GDP is about, if I'm not mistaken, about 2% to 5% of the GDP is actually put out of I mean of the profits at least, are moved towards these funds, right? And the fact that they've reduced by about 72% of these funds from 2019 to 2020. So because of the economic impact that COVID has had on in the UK, or if it is in the EU. So because of all these impacts, people have been considering, now if it is for the UN, if it is for Save the Children, these organizations are also talking about how different countries have had, I mean, it's explainable, right? Because of the fact that people are not too happy with people have not expected the pandemic situation, and
It just came out of nowhere. It randomly struck the people, and then we were all forced in this lockdown. We weren't allowed to go out, and like we were some of us weren't even allowed to work for weeks because our businesses or companies they weren't like working. So
absolutely.
we
Like
didn't
we
go
had
to
to
like
freeze. Everything was, put aside because of the consideration into what was actually important. People actually, I mean, in one way, in a good way, people started talking to their families. People started understanding what, catching up with their families. That was it was a really beautiful experience in a way. But then, at the end of the day, bills need to be paid, right?
Yeah.
And people need to be productive. People need to, get out and get stuff done. So it's sad in a way about the fact that people are not, I'd say have not been, at least the economy has not been performing up to, par in expectations in 2019. So that has had an effect on the 2019 GDP, and that has had an effect on the budgets for 2021. I think this effect will go on for at least till 2024, right? So talking about how, these funds now, funding, as important as funding is I mean,
It's
a
important
topic.
for our life.
Yeah, exactly. So as important as, economy or money is an important factor, I think saving the world again is an important factor, right? So it's a real big conundrum, I'd say, because of the fact that, people are not, too people are not too ready for, funding things like, I mean, the economic system is already built around the traditional methods.
Yeah, traditional methods. They're
So
not used to like modern technologies yet. Like for instance, solar power. It's not modern, but it was not implemented earlier as much as now it is. Because like we're running out of more natural, old school technologies. Because they all used to rely on these non-reliable energy sources. But
yeah,
now that they're going away and we can't rely on them any longer.
absolutely. I
Now
mean, I agree with you. I'm with you 100%, because I mean, now talking about the big issues, now we could have largely, concentrated on zero carbon electricity, or, now, because like when we talk about, the fact that there's the economic system is built around this, we have to consider the fact that, okay, we need to understand where the funds are coming from, where the materials are coming from, who's going to actually work for it, who's going to fund it. And then it's not just one company. You need to consider the whole region, or, the whole continent, for the whole state, or, the cities, for these funding. So if you're talking about jobs, you're not talking about just 100 people, you're talking about multiple families, right? You're talking about, generations of, families as well. So I mean, it's not the easiest conversation here, because of the fact that, you need to consider how there is a necessity to fund there's a necessity to fund these problems or these programs.
It's not like it's going to come out of pop out of nowhere and just suddenly make everything work. So
Absolutely.
in order to get these working, like the government and all the people had to work together and like focus on just like producing, making more new avenues for people to like make these things work.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not the easiest, I'd say, for everyone, because of the fact that people are considering, moving from different jobs. Now, if you have been in the tourism sector, right, you've definitely had to, move to a different company or different, industry, just because of the fact that your industry has failed you in the last during the last lockdowns, or during the last year. So
Yeah, I bet it's like really hard for the tourism industry because like they run on people visiting them and like they guide them like tour guides. So when they don't have people to show around, like people to take around the country, they're definitely going to have to search for new
absolutely, that's
avenues.
that's the end of the day. If there's no demand, there's no, supply, and, there's no supply of funds. So that is the conversation here. So now we are looking at, talking about the wind farms, and, how the number of wind farms are actually growing. But, what are we actually seeing in terms of, numbers, or what are we seeing in terms of, performance? Why are people not actually happy with it? Now, we'd also, like to have
We'd
your
also
opinion.
like to have your opinion on what you have to say. You could have a live conversation with us, or even you could send us a message, or you could also give us a call on our number that is 07
852 473 473. That is 07852 473 473.
and we're also live on other platforms such as Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And also to download our applications, which are on the App Store and the Play Store. That is Relaks, Relax.
That's Relax Radio. We are on the buzz. We are, your hosts all the way to 3 p.m. We hope you are going to be tuned in, and, now listen to just, conversations around what we are what is important for you, because now we definitely hope you are having a productive day. We wish you the most productive evening, and then a good Tuesday, getting ahead of life, with whatever your goals are. Tuesday, I mean, Monday might not have been the fastest day, but you need to push forward on Tuesday, because you've got only a certain amount of time in your life, right? And what
You have to
counts
make the
is
best out of it.
exactly what counts is what you do. And it's not about the thoughts, it's not about the ideas, it's about the execution at the end of the day. So we'll be right back with you with the conversation around how the UK and where they're looking at pushing their companies towards pushing their funds towards the wind farming, if it's solar power energy. Now we do see, in terms of multiple industries, now breaking down multiple industries, you might have the transport sector, you might have agriculture, you might also have in terms of power, and maybe again consumption. Now these industries will again, now for each you have a different a bit different
Different purpose to like play in the economy and the government as well.
absolutely different purpose, and also different consumption in terms of, or an output in terms of carbon, for instance. So what people are looking at is also in terms of industry, where they will see the best ROI in reduction of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Or if they planting trees might be a solution, securing, or making strict ocean fishing laws might be a solution, but also reduction in the production of carbon. So people need to see how, if there is less emission, people need to have an incentive towards funding all these conversations, or these projects. So we'll be right back with you after a couple of videos on showing you who we are, what Relax Radio is, and talking about our sponsors, talking about Relax in. And we'll be right back with you, finishing this conversation around talking about climate change, and helping you understand why people are actually, business leaders are actually considering pushing from wind power to other alternatives. about the conversations with regard to the ROI, and if you're actually considering how much return on investment people are making, we can concentrate on where we are going in terms of finances, because at the end of the day, funds are necessary, funds are relevant for these topics. People need to understand what is actually what money is going into our job, how our job's going to be paid for, how are overheads in terms of office rents, all these conversations, how are these being paid for, right? So how when they talk about now Martin Law, now he is basically highly involved in this conversation. He talks about how when he basically is involved in the UK conversation with wind power, and then talking about how the
how
number of
it's not
farms are
going.
growing.
Yeah, he says this is going to be like a big issue for people like him, and like it's not going to help. It is going to help, but it's going to be like a huge problem for, because he's a big company man and he wants a business. And once these wind power organizations like wind power starts acting up, he's going to lose. It's going to go under a loss, because like most of his business doesn't rely on wind power. And
Yeah.
once wind power comes in, most of his business sales are probably going to go down. And he's not the only one who says that this is going to become a big issue. I think he speaks for many other people as well.
I'd say he is biased in one way in that case, because I mean now it's not the easiest for when you are, unless you are a consistently innovative company, right? It's not the easiest for someone like Google to move towards. I'd say now Google is definitely one of the most innovative companies. So I'd say from another perspective, if you're talking about Toyota, right now, just like you have all these automobile manufacturers, just like you have all these people, they have been in a lot of these markets in terms of if it's sedans, if it is the SUV, if it is hatchbacks, if it is whatever the car you want, if it is for families or personal use. These guys have been taking a while to shift from the traditional the gas or the guzzlers, or if you're talking about petrol or diesel engines, to electric vehicles. So it's not done in a flick of a switch, right? It takes decades of learning, of R&D, of investment into R&D. People need to understand how to get into it, or how to actually spend, what to spend on, right? So what these guys are talking about is the fact that now Martin is basically, he doesn't seem to be too invested in the R&D side, because I mean, if you have been running a company for decades, and if it has been used to a particular set way, or a set method, I think it's important for you to understand what is consistently going on, because it's not going to be easy to switch, right?
Yeah.
So that is the importance, I'd say. Now, another thing we always talk about on the buzz, right? So that is another important thing of understanding who your competition is, understanding where the market can go. You need to be with an open mind, because you might have seen return in a particular method of functionality, but then you need to understand, okay, what is my end goal at the end of the day. You need to remind yourself of what your actual end goal is. Just because something works doesn't mean it can't be done better, right?
Yeah.
So just how now talking about the fact that the port of Blyth, that is in Northumberland, has once been the largest or the biggest exporter of coal, right? Now, this is not just in the UK, this is also in the Europe. So how they've transformed into one of the largest leading hubs of offshore energy. And these guys work now with offshore wind, so it's important. Now it's cool to see. Now when I talk about these guys, I'm talking about how they are innovating in the lines of energy, but then they are moving from coal, from the raw material usage, to a more renewable type of energy, right?
Yeah, we're never going to run out of wind. So like wind is more reliable.
Yeah.
And that it's more renewable. So like also like now this guy, he's like very against this and old school. So the thing is that like many people are supporting this, and there are people who are not supporting this as well. One of the main people who
Absolutely.
are supporting this is Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He wants to move on to more renewable energy sources, because he's really concerned about the environment. As I recall, in a recent press conference, he encouraged most of the people there to hop on to more renewable energy sources. And now this is really good, because, like as we've spoken before, how this will help people, how help the future, protect the protect the future generations, the upcoming people. Like this will create more business opportunities. It will make the world a better place. Even though some people are going to lose their jobs, it doesn't mean that they're not going to die, because like you can definitely come up with like a better solution on how your business can function and take
Absolutely.
advantage of the situations and things like this. So
Absolutely. I mean, if you are, I think if at the end of the day, I mean, if you are vigilant enough, you will be aware of, a high ROI system that someone else might even, find out. But then you need to, at the end of the day, you need to move to a point where you can, push in your own concept, or you can also, start bandwagon off that research and development, or into that stream that you have been pushing, right? And then bring out yourself in terms of what you are, bring out yourself in terms of whatever industry you are following, or industry you are in. Bring out that side in your business, or move towards it slowly, so you don't be left, you are not left out. So just like, if you're talking about content, if you're talking about media, you need to update yourself on, if people were still
you need to
stuck.
stay relevant with whatever is out there. You can't be like sticking on to the old and the things, because like there are people who are going to watch it, but not majority of the population. They want to get entertained by something new. They don't want to be stuck on the old things, because like we get bored of anything easily.
Absolutely.
And like, sticking on to something new is like really really good. But like everything's like developing, it's just going to move forward. Nothing's going to stay the same way it is. And like many people, many companies, you can apply this concept to anything: entertainment, business, anything literally, that they can't stick onto the same concept always. They always have to like evolve, focus on getting better, like advancing themselves to adapt to like new environments and many things like that. So this is like a great opportunity for other people to also like develop and grow. So like as you were talking about the entertainment industry, like YouTube is like one of the biggest platforms that like they're always like updated on what's trending now. And there's so many things you can do on like many platforms like that as well.
Yeah, so just like, we are talking about YouTube, you can also, I mean, just like Matt said now, speaking of YouTube, we are on YouTube, we do stream on YouTube, we stream on Facebook, we are on all channels, if it's Twitch, or even, Instagram, Facebook, talking about any channel that is your whatever favorite channel of yours, right? So talking about how you can push for multiple industries, or multiple conversations. This is the buzz. We talk about everything, business, tech, entrepreneurship. You are always, welcome to give your opinion, because this is a collective platform. This is always a conversation. It's a
We'd love to
two-way.
hear your opinions and all your thoughts as well. You could also catch us on our live platforms. We go live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. You could also download our apps, which are on the App Store and Play Store. That is RELAKS. And also, you could give us a call or send us your message, anything you want to say to us, on 078-52473473.
That's right. You can call us, you can WhatsApp us, you can just let us know what conversations you want us to, carry ahead, what conversations you want us to maybe even talk on a weekly basis, right? Because these can be important topics that are, going on in the world, not just the UK or Europe, but in the world right now. If you are interested in hearing us, you can also, join us even on SoundCloud. So if you're driving, if you're at work, you can just get us in your in your ears, and you just keep yourself updated on what's going on. So we are going to show you a quick, another quick video on, who we are, what Relax Radio does, and we'll be right back with you very soon.
We are just like talking. This is like a usual day shift. I'm Matt.
We're back with you on, talking to you about understanding what the UK wind power conversation is going through now. Now, we did mention that, they're not getting the best of the ROI yet, and, talking about how important it is and what other organizations are actually pushing for these conversations, right? So what we are to do, I'd say, is, with regard to, the workers and how the funds are coming in, the prime minister has already been invested in these conversations. So what we'd like to
We'd like to hear your opinions, your thoughts, or whatever you'd like to share with us. You could catch us on our live streams on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You could also turn on the notifications on Facebook so you know when we are live again. You could also download our apps on App Store and Play Store. That is RELAKS. And you could also WhatsApp us or send us a message or give us a call on 07
852 473 473.
473. And yeah, so coming back to the topic, we are here to talk about this like interesting topic that's been like affect that will affect the nation a lot. and it's about the renewable energy sources that will overtake the other energy sources that we've been dependent on for a long time. So like as Tim said, Boris Johnson is like really committed and really invested in this, whereas there's another portion of people who are not invested, who are not like they're not invested, they just not have they've not adapted to this still properly, so they're like trying to figure a way out, but they don't want to figure a way out because it's like really expensive and costly. Because for instance, like let's say you're this vehicle that just runs on petrol and suddenly you're overtaken by a company like Tesla, and then that's going to be really hard for you to like adapt to Tesla, because you got to do a lot of research and you got to like develop the new technology to compete
Yeah.
with them, and like swap from petrol to like a renewable energy source like a battery.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like now, just like Matthew is talking about, the conversation around how important it is. Now, the reason this conversation came up is because of the fact that the business leaders are talking about how inconvenient in terms of ROI it is, right? So how that there are people that are giving out statements, even in the lines of how Matthew, for instance, is this is not Matthew here, but then Matthew is the guy that has actually left the comment on how this guy is basically invested in the UK farm, right, in the UK wind farm, and they talk about how although there might be a positive amount of goals in terms of where the government is going to go, where they are looking at positive emissions, I think there is a possibility. Me personally, I'm positive with the possibility of them having an outcome that will actually lead them to a point where we I mean UK can actually come to a point where we are going towards almost zero emissions, but it will take a little while
Yeah, it's going
because
to take a lot of while for us to like adapt and like come to new terms with these new concepts that are brought. So like if you think about it, like it'll like there was this one worker, like Sky was having an interview with this one worker. He's a father actually, and he's like really into this project because like he's concerned about his newborn daughter that's about to come, his newborn daughter and a new daughter that's about to come. So like he's concerned about the environment and the nature. Like he's afraid whether it'll like affect the newborn daughter that's about to come, because like they're young, they have very weak
I mean we are risking the next
the next generation.
not just the next generation, but the end, where they are going to go right now. We are risking the destiny, or we are risking the story of their lives. So how now a lot of guys now, in another guy called Entringham, right now he's spoken about how when although the companies might come to a point where they are funding these projects, or they are finding a positive return on it, it's not easy to get to that point unless the government actually intervenes and supports them in terms of incentives, or reductions of costs, so that way they do see an ROI in it. It's not impossible, I'd say. It is possible, but just like it is, there is pressure there for the government, I'd say. With the government being tight with already with budgets from the lack of funds last year, from the reduction of costs, or in the increase of costs towards pharmacies, or the hospitality industry, towards hospitals, the health sector, and then even in terms of the R&D sector. Now there is a bit of a tight budget story that I think will be continuing
On
for
our
at least
next
another
year.
3 years,
Yeah.
right? So
3 years, and like if you think about it, like this will take like a long time. It'll take more than 3 years, I think, personally, like because like see some people like very not accepting of these new technologies, so they're like going to be very fuzzy. They take like a lot of time to like come and agree with this. So but like there are people who actually want this to happen, like many workers inside these firms, these companies who want this to happen.
yeah,
People who are concerned about their families, people who are concerned about the environment, nature as well, because like we're taking more from the earth without giving a good return from this. So swapping out
absolutely.
to something like this is like really beneficial, because even if you take wind, it's never going to run out because it's just like always there. It just keeps flowing no matter what.
You've
And
got a good point there, Matt. I'm completely on the same page with you there, because of the fact that when it comes to the future, or the resources that we've got, people like David Attenborough have spoken about. I mean, it's sad messages is coming out in the lines of how we've exhausted our planet's resources, or we are too late to save the planet. But people are still, people need to eat. People have systems that are built around built around the traditional ways of funding different operations. Now if you have any opinions, just feel free to comment, or
You could also comment
comment,
or
or just
share.
just give us a call on 07852473473. If you are on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you can actually tap the bell icon. You can get
Tap on the
notified
get notified when we are
whenever.
live, and you could also you could join us on our sessions. You could have a live conference with us and talk about interesting topics that you're interested in. And you could also download our apps, which are on the App Store and Play Store. That is Relaks. You follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and all these social media platforms. That is Relaks. Relax. And yeah, and
That's right. So coming to the end of the conversation. Now they are, now he's been talking about how it's not only a beneficial, a concern for him alone or his children, but it is, this is multiple, it is hundreds of families we're talking about, right? And the necessity to tackle climate change at the same time. So the wind power concentration, the technology, or the infrastructure that UK needs, will need to be given a lot of attention to from the government as well, in terms of incentives, if it is educating people in these sectors. Because just like educating people, it is important to get high skill in these sectors, or attend to problems, or tackling future problems that might be concerned. So we'd like to know what your honest take is. Like, now, if it is for just the R&D, or if it is for funding multiple governments, if it is funding for multiple companies, now what your honest take is on it. And let us know what your opinion is for how the UK can come towards a negative, or I'd say zero emission, carbon nation. So we are confident in going out there and then encouraging other states or other nations to come to a point where we are very positively impactful for the environment, regardless of what industry we are in. I mean, I honestly don't think we can ever come to a negative point, or a 0 point, but that should be the target, right? I mean, that
that's
should
what we
be.
should that should be what we're targeting for, like for a better world for the future and all. And yeah, so if you want to share your thoughts or your opinions with us, you could definitely message us on WhatsApp, which is 07852473473. You could also catch us on our live shows, which go on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Do turn on notifications, you'd get notified when we go live. And download our apps, which are on the App Store and Play Store. That is Relaks.
This is the Buzz.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Tim. We are with you all the way till 3 p.m. So log in, just have the conversation with us, and just stay tuned on what you need to know. Now, we've got another topic in terms of if you are starting a business out of, I mean, if you are an investor, or if you are looking at starting a business here in the UK, what your process should be, and what you need to get clarified, right? So we've got a good idea on, we've put down a few steps for you for understanding how you are to take this forward. So stay tuned with us. We are going to be going into a quick video showing you about who we are and what we do. This is Relax Radio. I'm Tim.
And I'm Matt.
We are talking to you about, we now have a conversation that a lot of people might, or even the UK might need to know what, in terms of what is going on, right? Because we need to get a lot of funds into the country. We need to understand from where we can get the foreign direct investment, or understand where we can get any money coming in, or flowing into the country, right? Now, I mean, we are at a stage where it's not the best that we could have been, but I'd say it could be worse. It could be, I'm personally glad we are not in a state of where it's something in the lines of where India is, right? Now, not to talk down on them or anything of that sort, but then just to understand that we could be in a worse situation. But bringing this to a point where, I mean, the purpose of it is to talk about how and why India is important. I mean, to for us to look at ourselves, and then this collect some gratitude in terms of where we are as a relatively more developed nation, and understand where we can go with it, what we can use. So in terms of money, in terms of at the end of the day, what is going to solve the problem is money, right? So how
So
we are looking at doing that is get money circulating in the economy. So that is if
you
you
could
are.
like start your own business. Business is like one of the most easiest ways to like make money. So like today we're going to talk about like how you could like generate your own source of income, even if you're not from the UK, or even if you're from the UK. And like this is really good for many people, because starting a business, like you if you can earn money through doing something on your own and not relying on others, that's like really great, because you can be an independent person. And like depending on others is not the best all the time, given the situations and everything. You are most of the time you'd either be unemployed or you'd be employed. But given the situation, you're mostly going to be on the unemployed side. So starting your own business would be one of the most greatest things to like do at this time. And we're here to give you a guide on like how you could start one, even if you're not from the UK or from the UK as well.
So considering the fact that considering the point of where we are concentrating on in the UK, right? We are to talk about how the country is to gain more money into the country. So if you are from out of England, if you are a foreign national, how are you actually looking to put your money into the country, or get it circulating, put it in a way where you can actually start a business. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly guide you through this step by step process, and then right before that, this will be a quick video on showing you who we are and what Relax is.
That's right. We are Relaxed, and this is the bus. We're here to talk about interesting topics such as entrepreneurship, business, and tech. You could send us a message on 070852473473. You could also catch us on our live platforms, which are on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and do turn on the notification button, so like you'd get notified when we are on live. And download our apps on the App Store and the Play Store. That is RELAKS.
So talking about the conversation here, coming back to the point on what steps you need to be aware of, because running a business, regardless of what company or what country you are in, you are to understand what you can do. So what your potential is in terms of your authority, or you're traveling, if it's for business development, if you are just an investor, if you're looking at coming out and just saying sales, it can vary with regard to whichever industry you are looking at concentrating on. Because let's say in the lines of talking about how you might now, certain jobs you might need to do a lot of traveling in and out, right? So with these jobs you might need to concentrate on the.
Concentrate on how you can do this, what are the necessary things you need to do in order to like do this job. So, like, let's say you're a foreigner and you want to start a business in the UK. First off, you got to check what visa you need to apply for. Like, let's say you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed, you do everything on your own. This is specific visa for you. Or like you're this big business and you want to just like move into the UK. So then there's another visa for you. There's like plenty of visas for each and different person. There's a visa for no matter who you are, there's obviously going to be one. And the UK is like totally down to like take someone from another country and help them build their own business if they can also help the UK as well. Because like if the UK is growing because of your business, that's like really good for them, and it's also good for you because you get more opportunities from more countries, and you're making your reach bigger. So that will definitely help you grow your contacts, your business, more reach. And like that's one of the main reasons why you should also consider like making your business bigger, no matter who you are, from where you're from. Even if you're from the UK itself, you could like make your business grow business from start to finish.
No, I'm positive that if you are in an exports related business as far as the UK is concerned, because like I said, the UK is looking for money. The UK is looking to encourage money coming into the country. So if the UK is exporting, services or goods at the end of the day, the legislature or the government is, to be in your side towards, I mean, as more likely as towards, exporting or importing, right? Importing services. So if you are, coming to sell your services or products to the UK, I'm not saying it's impossible, but talking about how when it comes to conversations around how and why you would want to sell to the UK, you could also come into it in the lines of reducing costs for the country. If you car, I mean, let's say in the lines of let's say for a product in the lines of furniture, if you can do something in the
Eco-friendly
lines of,
person,
yeah,
like
no, let's say China, for instance, is one of the biggest exporters in the world, right? This is just right after, I'd say, the US. But, if you are concerned on what you are looking at doing with the UK, you need to come to a point where you understand how much are you looking at pushing out of, the country? How much are you looking at saving in the country? Are you actually, is your service going to be more
beneficial.
competitive or beneficial in the lines of, a cost? For let's say if you're doing furniture and you are looking to supply to 100 companies, and if it's going to cost them around £1 million each, right? Now, just hypothetical situation I'm talking about here. So I mean, if you are supplying, if you are able to supply at a lesser cost, I think the country would be saving money here. So I'm pretty sure it could come to a point where they are concentrating around why and where actually would these people want to push for, where would they want to push in terms of concepts, or where would they want to push in terms of cost reductions. So you are always open to these ideas. You are always welcome to do this in the UK, because I mean, exposure at the end of the day, exposure, or even getting the word generalized, would come to a point where we push for an ideal country, or a future, right? Because we will be coming to a point where when it comes to understanding who we are and where we are going as a country, we need to stay globalized and connected. So talking about the brand of the country, talking about where we're looking at going, we'll be right back with you. Now we want you to add value, or I mean, just add to the conversation here. Now we can carry a conversation. Just share your opinions on what you are thinking, what your take is on in terms of what these conversations are about to have. So now we will have a quick conversation around, if you are looking at registering a company in the UK, if it's product or service related, breaking it down into what steps, a couple of steps that you need to follow. So we'll come back into this. Stay tuned right here. We're going to show you a video right quick on showing you on who we are at Relax. That's right. So when it comes to conversations around starting a business, we were talking to you about how and why the UK is looking at influencing or encouraging business from
From other people as
other
well,
people as
excluding
well.
their own country, because it's really good for them. They'd be able to improve the UK as well, and other
Yeah,
people will be able to improve themselves as well.
yeah,
So this encourages people from all over to start a business, especially when people who are from the UK itself. Now this is really good. Like we were talking about earlier, how many people will be able to create more job opportunities for people, and even your business, you'd be able to like make more new avenues, improve your reach, make it a bigger business. And like, let's say you're this person from another country, and you feel like you don't have enough business in your country, so you want to step on outside your reach, and this is like a perfect opportunity for you.
absolutely. So even if it is in the UK or even in anything to do with the EU, there are a lot of similar, legislature rules or guidelines that you need to follow, right? So the necessity for you to follow these are, I mean, for tax laws, you could get you need a lawyer to actually advise you on stepping grounds into the UK and helping you understand what procedures you need to follow, even if it's in terms of money flow, if it is in terms of regulations that you need to advise your customers or even your suppliers, if it is anything to do with the UK, because it can be a whole, it's, you have to accept the fact, you have to come into an ideology that it's a whole different world out there that you are trying to get involved with. So talking first, your first point is the fact that you might need to get a UK visa, and talking about how EU nationals are, who have been living in the UK before January 2021, the 1st of January 2021, they might be able to apply for EU settlement schemes. Now, pushing for the most foreign nationals, they will need to, talk about how they can work, apply, for visas, and then, talking now, setting up a business. You can also read so much of information online. Now, we can actually set a link up, or we can actually get you in touch with our pages. You can actually follow our pages to check on more information around this topic. So the second topic is talking about how you can apply
For the
for.
correct visa, like you can't be like a regular person just applying for a random visa. You need to know what exactly you're looking into and what are you going to go for. So you're an entrepreneur, there's a specific visa for you. You're a big business, there is a specific visa for you. No matter who you are, there is like a specific visa for you. So you need to clarify with your lawyer and whoever your other third party people, you need to clarify with them what kind of visa you're going to apply for.
I definitely should apply ahead of time, because visa for entrepreneurs include a startup visa and then an innovator visa. So these include a lot of costs, or they take up a couple of months or weeks, I'd say, because of the fact that you need to consider all these other steps that you need to follow, because there's a lot of verification. People need to know, at least the government needs to know who you are, if you are legitimate, if you are looking at adding value to the country in a proper way, because the country also needs to understand that there is talent in house. So this will be a concentration in terms lines of okay, the talent in house, can they actually push for a lot of concentration with the government, or with concentrating around pushing for the encouragement of the fact that you need to consider the legal affirmities of your business, or you need to consider the fact that talk about you need to know that, okay, if I am to come to the UK as a foreigner for investment, I am you need to be confident. If you are talking to any of your suppliers or your clients, even if it is your partners, you need to be confident. I definitely need to know, I need to be able to say, I am able to come into the UK because of such and such reasons. I am, confident in, delivering the services that I am delivering. I am, able to help you with pushing out, adding so much of value to your business with my services, or, my products. I am able to, probably, talk about how I can reduce your costs. So these are a couple of things that you need to have your confidence in, if you are to add value, or, if you are looking to join the UK as a new geography. So we'll be right back with you now, talking about how much of content or consideration you need to follow when it comes to the conversation around adding value as a business to the UK market, or adding value as a business to the EU at least, right? So this is Relax Radio. We want this to be a conversation with us.
You could also share, like, we want to have a conversation with you. You should definitely share your opinions, your thoughts with us. You could connect with us on our Facebook live, our Twitch live, our YouTube live. You could also download our apps, which are on the App Store. That is Relaks. It's also on the Android Store, Play Store, and we are relaxed. And also do send us a message on our number 07852473473.
Right now, we will be right back with you on after this short video on explaining who we are and what we do. This is Relax Radio, and I'm Tim.
And I'm Matt.
This is The Buzz. Stay tuned right here to hear more on what you need to know about moving into the UK as a foreigner for business. That is right. This is Tim.
And I'm Matt.
We are back with you on Relax Radio. This is the buzz, and we're talking to you on everything, business, tech, IT, technology. Just updating you on what you need to know with regard to, anything business related. And now we've got a cool conversation on if you are from the EU or if you are out of, the UK, what you should actually consider when you are looking at starting a business in the UK. So,
So like there's many ways you can do this, but like now the UK has introduced this new opportunity where no matter who you are, an entrepreneur, a solo businessman, or even a small company, you can move into the UK and start your own business. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a fresh business. It can be a business that has already been going on. But even if it's like a new business, they encourage you to start this business there. Now, the reason why they want you to do this is so that the UK can develop, they can get more money. And it's also not only that for them to develop, it's also good for you. You can increase your reach. And we've been talking about this. So, one of the most interesting things about this is like no matter who you are, you can start, you can hop onto this and you can start your business there. And if you think about it, it's really good. So now there's this there's this small visa. It's called the entrepreneur visa. Now this visa has been shut off because many people have applied for this and now they're not taking it anymore. But
yeah,
instead of this, there are two other ones. One of them is called the innovator visa and the startup visa. Now, these two visas are for people like entrepreneurs because since they've shut down the entrepreneur visa, now other entrepreneurs can come in using the entrepreneur visa. They have to rely on the innovator visa or the startup visa. Now, the innovator visa is for businesses from the UK or businesses from outside. Basically, you have a business, you have a concept, you want to bring it to the UK, or you're from the UK and you want to just like make it more known around the UK. What you need to do is you need to have at least $50,000, £50,000 to invest, and you need to show from where you got these fundings properly, or else you can't show some illegal money, or else you're not going to get accepted by the UK government. So
that's right. So adding to what Matt is talking about, we need to consider, the few steps that you need to follow when it comes to understanding what are the businesses or what are the other considerations you need to follow when you're registering your business in the first place, right? So like we said, you need to basically talk about, whether you need a UK visa or not, right? And even if you are just in the UK or even in the EU, you might need to set a UK visa up now because of the Brexit situation. So, the second point is, talking about how you need to consider a correct visa if it is required. Apply for a correct visa if it is required. So, I mean, you can have different types of visas. You might need to apply ahead of time, like we said. Matt also spoke about how visa for entrepreneurs, including the startups and then the innovators visas. These might be another approach or another consideration that you might need to follow, right? So considering your business's legal structure, once you're legally allowed to start a business in the UK as a foreigner, you can actually get going if you already know what your business will do. So I mean, one concern I think there is, if people want to know, if people understand what business they want to do once they've registered, right? So that is, I'd say, one consideration there. So, just like visas are important for this, or, registering the business is important, you need to know what you're actually going to do, right?
you
So
can't just hop in over there and be like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Once I go there, I'll figure it out. You can't be very unprepared. You have to know what you're going to do, or else they're not going to take you there anyway.
exactly. Why don't we actually put a question out to the audience now? Now, why don't you actually tell us if you are, now we know you're watching, we appreciate you, tuning in and letting us know what your take is on the conversation. Why don't you let us know if you were, let's say hypothetically, if you were a business or if you were a businessman or lady entrepreneur, out of the country, talking about how if you are looking to start a business, if it is imports or exports, what actual business would you consider starting in the UK or with relation to the UK, right? So why don't you actually reach us out on 07852473473? You can also message us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or even YouTube, and let us know what your take is on this. You can comment on these videos and just let us know, now what is your honest take in terms of, if you would start a business in the UK, what industry would it be, and where would you actually look at leading it to, right? So coming back to the point, coming back to the topic, we were talking about how if you're setting up a limited liability company, you need to incorporate your business. So this includes, registering with the company's house. This process will also need to understand, which industry you're actually registering your business under. So they understand, okay, if you are, a business running your company, for if it's agriculture, if it is, transportation, tech, if it is services, marketing related content, that is all, practices that will need to, be mentioned in your registration process. Because, if it is something in the lines of pharmaceutical, if it is something in the lines of hospitality, these are, I'd say, more critical businesses that might need to be considered. Because, I mean, strictly because of the taxation situation, the government will need to know, what taxations and what revenue models you have, and how they are going to need to tax you. Because different governments set up different, different isolation, and not or even in terms of, isolate different governments or legislations might need to set up different, incentives. That was the word. So incentives in terms of what they're encouraging or, disencouraging for operating in their borders, right? So the next one would be to you definitely need to understand what your tax obligations are. You need to register for a corporation tax. If you are incorporated, and whatever structure, I mean, if you are self-employed, understanding what, your assessment
or from
will be.
where you're coming from, who you are, what kind of a person. So your tax obligations will definitely vary no matter who you are. So you need to understand that, and you just focus on that. So like now we've spoken about the main five things that you need to do. But like now when you're getting a visa, like there's definitely a different variety of visa, different categories of visa that you need to look into. And I was talking about the innovator visa. Now, the innovator visa, you need to show money, that you have money, that I can come to the UK, I can handle myself, I can handle my business, I have the funds necessary, I don't need to rely on anyone. So that's what UK wants you to show. So, like for minimum, you need to at least have $50,000, 50,000 pounds, sorry, pounds in your bank account, and you need to show that, oh, these are legal, this is a legal way I got the money and all of that. And then also, like in order for your spendings and everything like that, you need to show another 1,270 pounds in your bank account. And this money cannot be touched for 28 days consistently. If this is touched, then your application will definitely be checked through and the visa might get cancelled. So there's a lot of things you need to consider, and there are lots of rules and regulations you need to check. You need to follow these rules. If you break them, you lose your big opportunity to come to the UK and start a business, or even start your own business from the UK itself.
Absolutely. So other things are, there is a big fee you need to pay. That is 1,000 quid. So if you're extending or if you're switching your visas, this is reduced by about 55 quid. And then, talking about foreign nationals, for some reason, for some countries, if it's Germany, France, and Spain, you might be able to stay an extra 3 years, or with an innovative visa. There's no limit to the amount of extensions. I mean, as long as, I think, you have that 50,000 pounds, in the account, you don't touch it for 28 days, and then you move it into a productive usage down the line. That should be, fine for you. But what is the other visa structure we have, Matt?
We have the startup visa. Like it's really similar to the innovator visa, but
Yeah.
the only difference is that you okay. So first off, you need to have 1,270 pounds in your bank account.
Yeah.
You need to show this money, and you can't touch it for another consistent 28 days. Like after that, and also you can switch from the innovator visa to this visa.
Okay,
So this is like
okay.
really convenient. And you can also drag like your stays. You can add extensions onto your visa as well. Plus you need to be endorsed in like other forms of UK higher education institutes. Like you need to show that, oh, I'm educated, I know this, I know that. have a
So I'd
qualification?
say now let's say if I am to apply for a startup visa, I need to have at least 1,300 pounds in my account that has been 1,300 pounds that has not been touched for at least a month, right?
Mhm.
And
And on
then
top of that, there's you're coming from another country, your English is going to be different, right?
yeah,
And UK English is also like on another different level. You need
absolutely.
to reach the standard as well to what they have, the English standard. You need to reach that, and there's plenty of exams. It's like similar to the IELTS, IELTS. So you have to reach a standard, and the standard is called the B2 level of English.
Yeah.
So that's really high, and you once you reach that standard, you can definitely apply for this. There's plenty of ways you have to do this as well. And
For the fees, it's relatively lower, right?
it's
What are
low.
the numbers looking like?
I believe it's between $363, 63 pounds to £493.
Right. And then, switching these, what's the cost there? Is it eligible for other countries?
Yeah, you just need to pay a £55, and that's all. It's really simple. It's really cheap, and you can also extend it. And
Right.
now, do you remember I spoke about the entrepreneur visa, which is
Right.
not available anymore?
Okay, okay.
But this
What
visa,
was the story with this?
it's got cancelled. But there's many people who have used this before.
Yeah.
So the people who use it, they're still eligible for this. And this visa has a lot of benefits compared to the other two visas, like the
Right.
starter and the innovator visa. So it's similar to this. All you need to do is you need to have invested at least £200,000 in a UK business. Now
Right.
you need to show how you invested this legally, and it can't be in some property or anything like that. It has to be a commercial business,
Right.
and you have to register it as you have to create more employees as well. So like you
Right.
start your business, you need to show that, oh, I made at least two employees within the past 12 months, showing that. And so what they want you to do is they want you to create more business opportunities and like that.
So what we'll do is we'll actually, wait for you to get back to us on, understanding what the conversation is. Just let us know what your take is on this. Just add more conversation to this. We'll be right back with you on this conversation on with more content. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back with you on Relax Radio. understanding how you can actually set your business up in the UK, how you can actually, what steps you need to follow, or what steps you need to basically tick off before you actually start your businesses in the UK. So now when Matt was talking about, the entrepreneurial visa, this might not be, available anymore,
It is
but
not available anymore because like many people had used this a lot, and many people had used this a lot, and now it's gone off. But people who still use this, they can use the benefits they had for this, and it's really good because it's basically like the combination of the innovator and startup visa just mixed
right,
together.
right.
And so what you can do with this, you can extend your stay even longer. All you need to do is you need to invest £200,000 in a UK business and make two employees for over at least 12 months.
Right, right. And to add to that, if you have created at least two full-time jobs, for over the last 2 years,
12 months.
12 months, and talking about how if you have proved yourself to be self-employed, being a member or partnership of, working as a director of a business for at least 3 months, you need to show all this proof before you apply. So there are, particular steps that you need to follow, and certain regulations that you need to comply to when you are looking to apply for a regular for a entrepreneur visa. Now, talking about foreign nationals, how can this rotate, this start a business? How can foreign nationals then start? What else do they need to actually look at when starting a business, Matt?
You need to like see the legal like how you're legally allowed to do your business, what are the rules and regulations you need to comply with. And so that's really simple, but like even though it's simple, it's like a huge complex process. You need to follow these laws, these rules. You need to check with the visa whether
Yeah.
your visa is like eligible, what kind of visa you need to apply for, the funding you need, and like there's many more. But you also like
Now there's also a few conversations around the significance of if you are going as a sole proprietor, if you are going as a private company, if you are going as a as a limited company, right? There are a couple of considerations that you need to follow, because when starting a business, like as important as all those steps were, we started with getting your visa first, getting your approvals with regard to the tax first, second, and then talking about if you are if you are at a point where you understand what company you are looking at, explaining, understanding what type of business you are looking at actually running. So the style of business, and then all the legal considerations that you need to actually look into. So if these are all looked into, you are actually good to go. So talking about, there are a wide range, just to remind you, there is a quite similar there is a quite wide range of regulations that you need to follow, right? Working in the UK as a foreign national, you need to be, I mean, you need to show a positive track record, even in terms of your past country, or in terms of where you've been, how you have been as a citizen there. And because there's a lot of space for businesses or business leaders, or I mean, I'd say businessmen, for talking in the lines of where they've been, if they've not run their businesses well in their prior countries, but then they've moved to UK to avoid the legal punishments that they've needed to face within their previous country, right?
you can't have like a bad track record and just like hop onto another country. Yeah, there's so many things you need to like consider even before like going into anything. That's why you need to go through the legal transactions and all of that.
Yeah, so now these were all conversations around understanding how you can actually apply for a business visa in the UK, and how you can actually looking at changing the conversation for a new topic, or moving towards a new conversation with where you are as a business and where you are going. So now we got another topic in the lines of the Barclays boss. So how they are looking at predicting.
They've predicted like so they made a prediction about how the future is going to look for the economy.
Yeah.
And it's not come yet, but there are like so many theories, and more people have so many comments on this.
So many rumors. I mean, there's a lot of noise. I mean, in the lines of where the economy is going to go, because of the slope, or the slump that we actually had to face within the pandemic.
But he says like this is going to be like one of the biggest, most biggest booming boost for the economy.
Absolutely, since 1948 to add to that, right?
That's a long
So
time.
so what we're going to do is we're going to show you about, we're going to talk about this, we're going to break it down for you. So to add to that, this is Relax Radio, this is the Buzz. We're with you all the way till 3 p.m. every day, every weekday, and then we're going to be talking to you everything tech, entrepreneurship.
business, and anything related to that. You could also share your opinions and thoughts with us on our number, which
That's
is
07852473473. That is 07852473473.
you could also catch us on our lives, which are on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Do turn on the notifications so you'd get to notify you'd know when we are live over there.
Absolutely. You can hit the bell icons. You see, when we are online, when we are live, and you are notified on your phone, on your website, on your laptop, and then you can basically tune into the conversation, stay updated with what is going on. Now we're going to show you a quick, video on who we are, what we do, and we're going to be right back with you and tell you about, what Relax does, and talk about, how the economy is looking at booming. Now, this is all conversations again to remind you that the Buzz talks about. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with you with more news around, where the economy is going. My name is Matt.
I'm Matt.
I'm Tim. And we'll be right back with you very soon. So we're back on, the buzz. We're talking to you everything business, tech, entrepreneurship, updating you on what you need to know on what's going on in the real world, right? What's going on in the UK or even in the EU with regard to economy, or even with regard to what's going on, what you need to know with, business conversations. So talking about, the upbeat, assessment that, Barclays has revealed, they are looking at, coming through a 2.4 billion, profit estimate as of last year, and these were only in the first 3 months, right? So these numbers alone in such a short period, now these are showing that regardless of the slump we had in the last year, we are looking at a huge growth in terms of business or economy, regardless of what industry you are in, given that you will obviously stay a part of the conversation, or given that you will stay a part of the move, if you are taking action. So there is an estimated UK economy that will grow at the fastest rate since 1948. Now, this is an estimate. This is, a rumor, or I'd say a prediction that
Like it's been going on for so long. Like it's been going on from the 1940s actually, and since this rumor is like now actually like happening, like so many people have so many things to say about this. And after seeing this boom in like this estimate profit, they have so much to say on this. So after like even after making the 2.4 billion pounds profit estimate this year, there's so much things they say and say on this. So one of the main things that there's so many people who are into this. One of the main people is Mr. Staley, I believe that's his name. He said that this combination of this successful vaccine rollout is one of the main reasons for this profit to boom out. And I believe the profit that was supposed to boom out, or the estimate that they made, was 200 billion pounds. Now that's like a huge number.
Yeah,
And
now this was just sitting in bank accounts as well, right? So to add to this, they are looking at ways in how the UK can join the US and look at some fast economic growth for the next decades, right? I mean, I'm confident if there is proper coordination, if there's proper transparency and a mutual interest, right, in both nations to for the UK and the US to move towards growth. I'm super excited to see what's going on, what can come out of this, right? Also, if they integrate climate active or climate conservative, climate conscious, climate or eco conscious ways in how they're looking at growing these new industries. Like, I mean, I'm definitely going to look at investments in terms of if you are keen on understanding, or if you are trying to see how you can increase your net worth, you can also just invest in companies that you believe in, companies that you can analyze and that are looking at growing positively, right? So these are ways that you can just stay a part of the boom regardless of being in all these industries, right? So we've got a ton of companies or ton of industries that are looking at being supplied a lot of loans. So now somewhere around this time last year, there was more than 2 billion pounds worth of risks that were given to borrowers, right? And not all of them have been able to pay all of their debts. I mean, the pandemic came out of nowhere. There were
and
interest rates.
people like hit out of nowhere. It's obviously they would have like not been able to pay this risk. But like this year the risk was even higher. Not higher actually. It was 55 million, I believe. And that just proves that like the amount of risk has reduced, and it'll help the economy boom more. So this man's rumor is like actually coming to light, and like
Staley's room, yeah.
it's still, yeah. So now since this is actually happening, many people have so many things to say, and like there's so many things that even prove that this is happening, this rumor is happening, even though it's not real, like it's not proven fully to be real yet.
I think I'm convinced slightly. I'd say up to about 5 out of I'd say 8 out of 10%. I'd say that I'm convinced that it will boom because of the fact that the digital space has been growing a ton, right? And talking apart from the digital space, you have a lot to do with the conversations around shopping, online shopping alone. If it's groceries, how companies or businesses have adapted, and how people have been more vigilant on other industries, other countries, on how things are going. And then to understand how it will be equally interesting to watch about $9 billion or pounds worth of kitty for the future industries or future estimate deaths. Now people have been still now, the fact that people had to come to a 55 million collective, if it is talking about pounds in terms of debt for handling the current costs that businesses have had. There have been a lot of industries that have been affected by this whole pandemic story. So coming back from this, to recover from this, and with considering the amount of vaccines that have been rolled out, considering the amount of conversations that are in the positive lines of how many business owners are looking at recognizing if the rosy picture paints the UK's economic future, and they're talking about how the business sectors will have so many faces in terms of challenging circumstances. And I mean, the fact that coming to this point, apart from the last few years, the fact that people are looking at there's about 5 million workers, and facing desperate challenges, and they are still not clear of where they can go in terms of full-time work.
And I
So
also like, so these workers who are like in desperate situations, they won't believe like this rumor is actually happening, because like they're down over there, like at their bottoms, they're like, oh no, I don't have a source of income, and they don't have anything to rely on. So
yeah,
from their point of view, when they like hear this rumor, they're gonna be like, oh, this is not possible, this is not true. So like there's gonna be like, there's so many sides also on this rumor, positives and negatives, depending on where you're looking at it from. So
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we are always open to hearing from you and understanding what your take is on this. So you can always let us know. You can call us up on 07852 473 473. You can also WhatsApp us on this number.
the number is 07852 473 473. You could also catch us on our live platforms, which are on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Also turn on the notification bell icon so you know when we are live, and also download our apps, which are on the App Store and Play Store. That is RALAKS.
Absolutely. So you don't miss out on any live sessions that we come out. We're on the weekdays where we are on with you on the buzz from 12 to 3 p.m. Just updating on everything tech, entrepreneurship related content that you need to keep yourself up to date. Right now, talking further, with the 300 year downturn, that the biggest economy, 300 years ago, the biggest economic downturn that had been faced, that was at least in the lines of the 1949 recession. There were a ton of companies or countries that had faced a lot of damage in terms of they understood how important each other were for the economic fluctuations, or of the particular currencies, if it's the dollar, if it's the pound, if it is even the Chinese yuan, if it's the Aussie dollars. You have to consider how many businesses or business owners may need to recognize the importance of this. So it's probably wrong to talk in terms of an economic boom yet. But what we are going to do is we're going to be showing you, we're going to be taking a quick break and telling you about how and where the country is looking at going, what we need to be aware of, what we need to be considerate about in the future. So with this consideration, with the future of UK coming in terms of the economy, what we need to keep an eye on. Now this is the buzz. We'll be actually talking to you about what more you have to be considerate about with the economy, and how this boom is actually coming. Now just Staley is, he says that this might be one consideration, but is this actually going to be the final point? Is this actually, how accurate is this, is the question, right? So we'll be right back with you with a quick, after these quick videos, talking about finishing off this topic to help you understand where the UK is looking at going with this boom. tech, entrepreneurship, business that you need to know when it comes to the UK, the EU, and anything to do with your, maybe it may be related to your industry, but if you're working in, if it is tech, if it is agriculture, if it is even the future industries that we need to keep an eye on, which is why that is exactly why you need to stay tuned on the buzz. This is the buzz. I'm Tim.
And I'm Matt.
We are talking to you all the way till 3 p.m. We're just about to sign out, but we've got Nick coming in with more real talk conversations, and he should be definitely excited to converse with you on what is going on in the real world, right? So to finish off with this conversation, now we were talking about how he predicts the biggest economic boom since 1948, right? So why actually now when we talk about the numbers again, now we did talk about how when it comes to we are looking at the biggest economic boom. So I mean, we in one way we don't know if they're just hyping this up, but then I'd say in up to a certain extent, I am definitely sure about the hype, because back, like they said, back in 1948, or even 2008, with every time the economy crashed, right? The economy as a globe, the innovation side of things, or even the monetary side of things, people and businesses just boomed up to a point where it has not been at before as well. So what my personal advice, as far as I know, right, what I would reckon is, you put your whatever additional extra savings that you have, right? You either, if you are not in the UK, you buy a couple of pounds, so you're joyriding off these other people's the increment in net worth, right? So that way, you actually, if you are a foreigner, you might want to buy a couple of pounds, because you might not be able to exactly invest in the stock market as well. So talking about the stock market again, now this is definitely the crucial factor. Now, UK, like the UK government or the UK stock market is looking to encourage a lot of tech IPOs, or get a lot of tech companies in the stock market, right? This is a consideration. This is a point where we might need to talk about how and where, when the UK is looking at growing in terms of an economy as a whole economy, right? So let us know. I mean, we can always
You could always like share your thoughts or whatever you have in your mind you want to share with us. You could message us on WhatsApp or other platforms. Our number is 07852473473. And we also go live on weekdays on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. And we also have an app which is on the App Store and Play Store, that is RELAKS. We are here to talk about business, entrepreneurship, tech, all on the bus with Tim and Matt. And so today we're talking about this interesting topic. It's a rumor actually. This rumor has been going on since the 1940s, and it's about the booming of the economy. Now, like with the most recent activities going all over the world, UK has been affected in many ways, and the most easiest way that we've been affected is by the COVID pandemic. The economy has been going down and down, and now we've estimated a big profit coming our way, nearly 2.4 billion pounds. Now that's like a huge amount, because like currently we're below
and
that.
this is doubling from last year, right?
Dou-
Just in the first quarter we're looking at. So I mean, this is just Stanley. He's the boss of Barclays, and he alone is talking about how they estimate for the UK economy to grow at its fastest rate since 1948. Now, this is why this whole I'd say prediction is made. Now adding to it, the vaccine program and how fast the vaccinations are being rolled out. We hear every day on the news in terms of how many vaccines have been delivered to people, how much of vaccines are given out in terms of recovery, and how fast the economy is coming up, right? So I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm just hoping for all green lights and all positivity out of this, right? But the program is still being built up. We are looking at saving for the rebound, and then even just like Staley talks about the extra 200 billion sitting in
people's
customer.
bank accounts, and like now they'll have no choice but to use this, because like many people, they've lost their forms
Yeah.
of income. So whatever
Yeah.
is that line in the bank account, they'll obviously have to use this, and this will definitely help the economy boom as well. And like,
because money is going to get
yeah,
rolled
money is
out, right?
going to get rolled out.
Yeah,
And like one of the other ways that I believe that the economy will boom is through technology.
yeah.
Because we're at home, we have nothing to do with the COVID pandemic. We're on our phones. We're trying to educate ourselves, read, find many ways on how to make money or entertain ourselves at home.
I mean, the blockchain or the Ethereum, the Bitcoin markets are people are killing it in those industries, right? I mean, I'm super excited about looking at to understand, because people understand where these guys are going to go in the next 5 to whatever amount of years, right? Because of the fact that if you're talking about the dot-com bubble, dot-com boom, for instance, now people considered it to be just a rumor, just a hoax, when internet came out. But then companies like diapers.com, this is just one example I'm talking about. But as to how these guys actually came to a point when the boom started helping them with both, these guys basically they invested in it as a joke, right? With this domain called diapers.com, and then they come to a point where they can't even handle the amount of orders they're getting in, because of the fact that this website is so famous or so popular, right? So they come into a point where they can't even handle the orders coming in. I mean, that is ideally a super place to be in as a business. But like I'm saying, regardless of if you are in a pandemic or not, these are products that I personally understood during the lockdown, that I might want to be in this industry, because of the fact that regardless of you, if you are in a pandemic or not, people are going to need these products. I mean, it's not like, let's say if you are in fuel or transport, these industries might have gotten a significant hit. But
But right now, given the times and everything, like fuel industries, they're going to go down because like we're not allowed to go. So other industries, other industries regarding like this, they definitely go up, they'd rise. Sorry, they'd rise. And many industries which are in tech, they're definitely going to rise. And like you were talking about the crypto market,
yeah.
like Ethereum recently, they've had one of their biggest rises as well.
Absolutely. So just like Ethereum is hitting the 300, the $3,100. This is the biggest milestone they've hit so far, right? And it's only a bull market so far. It's only rising, right? So the last time yet, there was a £2 billion cover risk that borrowers were unable to repay in terms of debts. And I'd say banks had definitely had to give them out with a lower interest rate, because of the fact that these were all unprecedented, requirements or costs that were a part of, business running. And if you were in a lucky industry, you basically joyride off the demand of this. But talking about how just like other big banks, the UK and the US have decided to adjust not to previous estimates of these bad loan provisions, and then avoid these considerations. But they are hinting that they will do so in the future and work together on this. So I'm just looking hopeful. I'm just looking positive for this. I think we can get your opinion on this as well. Just let us know what your take is on these, and just let us know what your opinion is. You can always message us, you can call us up, you can let us know.
And the number is 007
852
852 473 473. You could also catch us on our lives, which are on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Do turn on the notifications icon so you get notified when we are live. And download our apps, which are on the App Store and Play Store. That is RELAKS. My name's Matt.
I'm Tim, and we'll be right back with you on the buzz tomorrow, talking about more interesting topics around, business, tech, entrepreneurship. But for now, we're going to leave you with Nick. Nick is going to be updating you on everything on Real Talk. He's going to be talking to you on, everything that you can basically keep in touch with, when it comes to your daily life, or, understanding what is going on in the world. So it's been a pleasure being here with you today. And we're out for today, but we'll be back with you tomorrow.